Ryan, do you want to tell us a little bit more about what's going on with you?
Yeah, hi Mark. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been a crazy year and a half for everybody, but um, oddly enough, there's been I think some opportunities and just some innovations that have happened during
Yeah.
that time. And yeah, when I heard about what Keegan had kind of put together, it was really interesting to me, and I didn't know anybody else that was doing affiliate marketing and doing a similar strategy on a new platform like he was. And it was really interesting to me because I've done some stuff in the past with varying degrees of success, but hadn't quite broken through to those levels that I've seen people do in this type of business. And so I wanted to get in there and give it a try. I sought out some other help and some other training prior to that, and I learned some stuff, but it still wasn't quite clicking. I wasn't quite breaking through to profit. And within a matter of weeks of getting connected with Keegan and his methods, I had my first $1,000 day, and then by the end of that weekend, I had my first $1,000 day. And within the first month, I had six, seven, eight, and even my first $10,000 days. And yeah, as you said, the first 30 days from breakthrough to the next
Mm.
remaining 30 days from then, it was about 123,000 of total revenue, and $67,000 of that was profit. So more than 100%
Wow.
ROI, and I was absolutely thrilled. I've never made that kind of money in online marketing ever with any of the other things I've ever done.
I think that's absolutely stunning. But also, what I like about your story too is it's one of persistence because a lot of people, it's either they do really well straight away or they're a little bit persistent and they do really well a few months in. You don't get too many people that are like you, where they actually started 10 years ago. I mean, most people have either done really well since then or they have um, given up because 10 years is a long time to. I know it's not necessarily all full time, that's all you've done, but it's a long time not to have got to that $1,000 a day plus mark, and yet you're somebody that's it's proof that if you never stop, if you actually never stop having a go at this stuff, you will sooner or later get there. And in your case, I know there are a lot of success stories where you have this guy that they started 6 weeks ago and now they're doing really well. But for every story like that, you don't hear your story. People often don't share this sort of story because it's not sexy to have started 10 years ago, right? But the fact is, it doesn't matter, does it?
No,
Now
it
that you're
really
here.
doesn't matter. Like I said, there was some different degrees of success with some of the other things from the
Mm.
past. So it's not that there was no success, but I had never run online ads before. I had never advertised on this platform before, and so there was a lot of it that was new to me. And I feel like the almost bigger handicap that I think I personally have is I don't really consider myself to be all that creative. So coming up with this magical ad or whatever out of my own mind, I'm just not very good at that in my experience. And so that's, I think, one of the things that really this his kind of coaching and his process solved for me was just seeing a formula and seeing some examples so that I didn't really have to be the creative guy. I could
Mm.
take the feedback that was there. I could take the methodology that was there and I could tweak it, and I could apply it in my own way. But I didn't have to come up with the concept from scratch, which has always been kind of a struggle for me. I'm really good at emulating and I'm really good at modeling and even tweaking and improving things, but not necessarily, I'm not really the idea guy that comes up with the concepts in the first place. But yeah, by no means would anybody have to spend the same amount of time going through a process. It's really just a matter of finding something and being dedicated to it and focused on it, and basically getting the opportunity to learn from something that someone else has already solved and already put together and packaged up for you.
Right. So I mean, I think that's important for people to know too, not to be too scared off by how long you've been plugging away. It's not like you haven't had um, big periods where you've made like a full time income online. It's just that it wasn't necessarily like it is now, like over $1,000 a day and that kind of thing. And this model, by the sounds of it, it's the fastest model that you've had, where from starting and learning about the model through to having such, obviously higher level of success than you've ever had. There must be something really good about that makes that possible.
Absolutely. So what's always been appealing to me about internet marketing is the unlimited income potential, but a lot of other business models, they require your time, and this requires time too, but it doesn't take any more of your time to run a campaign that earns you $100 a day versus $1,000 a day or $10,000 a day. It's the same amount of time involved in that, versus if you're working with clients or you're doing other things that require, manual time to do that, you're only going to be able to scale to so high before you just simply run out of hours in the day. And so I think for me, that's where the difference is with this. Is it doesn't really matter. Again, it's not directly tied to a one-to-one return or a ratio of time versus income. It's really more getting to the point of finding winning campaigns and then scaling those up. And it's almost the opposite. The more your campaigns are making, it feels like the less time it seems to take you on a daily basis.
Yeah, because if you're able to make $100 a day in profit, then if the audience is large enough, by the sounds of it, it is the way this is being taught. If you're able to spend 100 and make 200, then why can't you spend 1,000 and make 2,000? And why can't you spend, I know it peters out at some point, but obviously for a lot of people, it's, you can spend 5,000 and still make 9,000, and spend 10,000 and still make maybe 14 or 15 or 16,000. And at some point you go, that's about right. I need to find another offer to promote, because the level of, relative to what I'm spending is diminishing. But it's takes a long time to get there, doesn't it? It's not like you just suddenly you get to 500 a day and you're making another 500 and then you can't scale further because there's no more money to be made. It goes quite a long way. It's a big world.
Exactly. So scaling can come not only in the form of just increasing your budget, but running other offers, running other niches. So yeah, I think, conceivably it's almost an unlimited scaling potential with this, just because there's so much traffic and there are so many products and so many offers out there. So to see what other people are making that are even making the numbers that I was doing look small, it just goes to show there really is just gigantic potential there.